All right, y'all. Today we're looking at this boudoir photography business, and for its local searches, city searches, we're going to see if it has BSS. All right, so we're back here in the GBC universe, where we take declining boudoir photographers to the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. Our North Star here is, as always, is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture, and more about that, pinned video, pinned post somewhere around here. And that's because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. So we got our FSIC graph here in white. Got way on the left, we got the highest intent peeps. These are like, social searchers, Google searchers are searching for boudoir photo shoot in my city, like today. Focus on those peeps here. And our video is talking about BSS. And way over on the right, we got the lowest intent people that ain't searching for boudoir right now. And most of them have no idea what the heck boudoir even is. So we reach them through interruption ads through Facebook and Instagram. And we talk about that on our sister brand channel over there, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor. And we currently only work with boudoir photographers running more than 10 grand a month in boudoir Facebook ads. So, BSS, boudoir search sameness, that is when a boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 on Google. 0 slots, terrible. That means we're dying a fast death, because we know approximately 80% of Google searches never even hit page 2. Page 1 is it's where approximately 80% of Google searches stop, so they're page one only searches. And if we got 1 slot on page 1, that still ain't good, because we're looking the same as everyone else. There's 10 organic slots, page 1 on Google. So, there can be 9 other boudoir photographers. And if everyone's got 1 slot, then guess what a buyer's doing? They're saying, oh, everyone looks the same here, no one stands out. And they're getting, hitting everyone's contact form, getting price quotes from everyone, and price shopping, comparing, driving margins down, negotiating. And, this is a business killer as well. And 0 1 slots on page 1 of Google search is actually not normal. It's a symptom of 2 deeper root causes. Yeah, to have that few number of slots, not normal. There's 2 deeper root causes are market saturation and the false belief of page 1 equality. So market saturation, most people know what that is. Over time, people get new iPhones, get new cameras, kind of like upgrade their gear naturally. And as they continue, they eventually, throw up their Google Maps profile saying they now offer boudoir photo shoots. They also throw up their website saying they offer boudoir photography, and they actually start posting in mom Facebook groups that they do boudoir photo shoots now. Basically, more sellers for the same number of buyers makes it harder for all boudoir photographers at the same time. Now, the second one, the false belief of page 1 equality. This one, boudoir photographers believe that every boudoir photographer basically kind of gets 0 1 slots on page 1 of Google, and either they have it or they don't. Either Google gives it to them or they don't. So maybe they're they're page 1 slot 8, and some market saturation happens. They go to page 2, slot 3, and they're like, well, that's how it is. And they're like, I hope those people above me delete their website so Google can rank me on page 1. But this is the 100% wrong thought process to have, because we now know for a fact that Google actually give us as many slots on page 1 as we want to put in the effort to acquire. And I know this because I went from 0 out of 10 slots page 1 Google search to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 of Google search in only 10 days with this new methodology we developed, which you'll be seeing in a little bit. Now, a boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is a disappearing boudoir photographer DBP. That's because, if you 0 1 slots page 1, both situations, we're practically invisible. And so this kind of the warning light, the first, the canary in the coal mine for a disappearing boudoir photographer that's telling us we are on the path to our boudoir photography business itself disappearing. But thankfully now we have a solution because through our testing we've discovered BSS is actually treated with social search saturation, aka S-Cube's methodology. And the way it works, it's exactly as the name says. We saturate social search with the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords, so we show up there as many times as possible, right at the top. And it's kind of like the snow at the top of the Andes Mountains down in South America, on the backside of the Andes Mountains, the eastern side. And basically, when the snow down there melts, it forms into small streams, small rivers. Eventually, all that water collects to the Amazon River. Page 1 of Google is that Amazon River. Page 1 Google search. So we got to get the snow up top the mountains first for the water to then flow into the Amazon River. And the best way to get the snow up top, saturating social search. And this is the only solution I've seen for boudoir photographers that actually gives them a chance to actually still grow their business in the face of massive and increasing market saturation in a relatively quick time frame. The only other solution I've seen that also gives the benefit is having a large, well-known brand. But dude, that takes 5 to 10 years. AI is here taking peep jobs. We ain't got time to build one of those. But kind of an extra benefit of S-Cube methodology is my estimate is it will actually build a brand about 8x faster in traditional ways because we're on so many different surfaces with such a high frequency than everyone else. Kind of just naturally leads to a large, well-known brand being built. So example of boudoir photography business still growing even in the face of more and more market saturation. Let's say we are in Bangor, Maine. There's a million boudoir photographers there, and we're one of them. Everyone's got their boudoir photography website, trying to rank page 1 on Google. And what's actually happening is, we're like, dude, we don't have a brand. How the heck are we going to compete? We actually, well, the only solution is S-Cube methodology. So we crank it up to, max level. I'd say we rank the first 300 slots for the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords. And as we get those slots, let's say we get those to flow down onto Google page 1. Well, we actually get the first 300 slots on Google, so it's 10 slots per page. We're taking the first 30 pages. People basically got to go to page 31 to find any of our competitors. So if we got the first 300 slots where anyone looks, no matter how far they scroll, any social search or any on Google, whose boudoir photography business is still growing? Obviously ours, because our buyers can basically not even find our competitors. So our 999,999 other boudoir competitors are basically dying / vanishing, and we're basically the only ones still growing. So that's the most extreme example of S-Cubed methodology. Now, once treated with S-Cubed methodology, we now have page 1 visibility. So initial benefit, we get more slots on page 1, cool. Secondary benefit, every new slot we get on page 1, we actually kick, or second initial benefit, we actually kick competing boudoir photographers off page 1, effectively making them invisible. Dude, so we can do this to people right in our city. We can kick as many people off page 1 in our city as possible, because now we know Google will actually give us as many page 1 slots as we want to put in the effort to acquire. And a lot of boudoir photographers feel that this is actually their most favorite initial benefit. And page 1 visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us. So this is when the GVC universe recommends we hit a minimum of 3 out of 10 slots page 1 of Google search, because basically everyone else will have 1 slot, every other boudoir photographer, so we got 3, we're dominating them just off of sheer appearance. And if in the super rare situation that one person has 2 slots, well, we got 3 and we dominate them as well. And finally, a boudoir photographer with BSV is a visible boudoir photographer, a VBP. So we got our full micro universe here, a disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness, is caused by the dual horns of market saturation and the false belief of page one equality. That's fine. We got our solution now. S cubed methodology gives us page one visibility. We become visible boudoir photographers with boudoir search visibility. All right, my results utilizing S cubed methodology for myself. I wanted to rank for the term BLCS boudoir. So I want to dominate page one for this. Sorry, I had 0 out of 10 slots, page one, Google search. So let's see my results using S cubed methodology. So organic slot 1, Instagram, me. Slot 2, me. Slot 3, me. Slot 4, me. Slot 5, me. Slot 6, me. Slot 7, me. Slot 8, me. Slot 10, me. So we got 9 out of 10 slots. I went from 0 out of 10 slots Google page one search to 9 out of 10 slots Google page one search in only 10 days, exclusively utilizing S cubed methodology. Now, onto the main event here. We're going to see if this boudoir photography business, see if it's got BSS for its local or its city search, see if it's hitting the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 page one slots on Google. So let's get into it. So we're going to Germantown, Tennessee, and Memphis, Tennessee. All right, so what we got here. We're in Germantown, Tennessee. All right, let's see what we got. All right, we got 1. All right, so we got 1 out of 10 for local search. Let's go to city. City is always harder to rank for. It's more people competing. Oh, nice. We got organic slot 1. That's great. So we got 1 out of 10. All right, so we got 1 out of 10 here. We got 1 out of 10 for local. We got 1 out of 10 for Memphis. So yeah, we got BSS for both, and we are hitting the GBC universe recommended minimum. A 3 out of 10. Neither of those searches. So if you are a disappearing boudoir photographer, meaning you've done the your local searches, your city searches for the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords, and you saw you either had 0, 1 slots on Google page one for at least one of those searches, or you're not hitting the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots page one Google search for at least one of those searches, and you've accepted the false belief of page one equality is exactly that, a false belief. So now you freed your mind to actually look for a solution to take as many slots Google page one as possible, and you're realizing, wow, S cubed methodology, perfect. That's the only solution for me. It's exactly what I've been waiting for. You're liking the initial benefits, more slots page one Google search. You actually doubly like the second initial benefit, kicking competing boudoir photographers off page one, making them invisible to approximately 8% of the market by putting them on page 2 or deeper. And you're also looking ahead because you understand market saturation. You're like, wait, AI is taking more peeps jobs right now. Last time that happened with COVID, tons of new boudoir photographers entered the market. So you're already understanding way more boudoir photographers going to be entering the market as AI gets better and better, takes more and more people's jobs. And you're realizing that you not only need these slots, you got to fortify your position on page one by having actually so many links that Google wants to rank on page one, but you've already taken up so many slots that Google actually starts putting your page one worthy links and filling up page 2, 3, and 4, because you realize you actually need to essentially prevent all your other competing boudoir photographers currently in your city from ever ranking on page one, and definitely prevent any of the future boudoir photographers that come after AI takes their jobs from ever ranking on page one. So you realize, and you actually got to fortify your position there. And as a result, you're saying, okay, how do I get so many links in a short time frame to actually achieve this? And you realize, okay, S-cube methodology is the only solution to do that. You also understand S-cube methodology is building up basically these invisible thematic keyword columns, plugged in, attached to your brand, and kind of like in the back end, cyberspace and the internet, attached to your brand name, business name, website name, your personal name, all your social handles, and there's a big cloud of who you are. And we're building up this like back end AI keyword mindshare, all plugged into this, cloud of your brand and who you are. And every day we build up, add more and more columns, fortify, build those columns out. It actually increases the probability we are recommended here as the one premium option for AI overview and search, which is the most premium placement, and we cannot buy this with ads. And you also understand in parallel to increase the probability that the chat, the AI search apps, AI chat apps actually increase the probability you recommended there too. ChatGPT, Google Gemini, Claude, Perplexity, Microsoft Copilot. Um, you understanding that? Okay, higher chance you'd be recommended there. Last time I searched for a boudoir photographer in a city, there's a ChatGPT recommended me 3. I then went and did manual searches on Google and Facebook, and I found about 60 of them. So we definitely need any possible way to get recommended this AI search. And what we found is the highest probability solution that provides that is, again, SQ methodology, because it's building up these invisible thematic keyword columns. And so you're liking all those feature benefits. You're also liking future benefit of SQ methodology can help you build a large, well-known brand approximately 8x faster than traditional methods. That's a cool feature benefit as well. And you understand that my current plan is to only work with one boudoir photographer per city. So you actually like that you can get all these benefits and prevent all your competitors from getting these benefits, enabling you to build up kind of this large, massive back end, um, this large gap in links that are out there that Google wants to rank on page 1, and also these future kind of this back end AI keyword mindshare momentum for all these AI chat systems and AI overview recommendations. And you've decided because of that, you're going to be the first mover, first one in your city to adopt this, because you understand the converse. If one of your competitors were to sign on with me first, they would execute these benefits. They begin all these links and backup links throughout page 1, 2, 3, 4. They would be kicking you off page 1 to page 2 or deeper, making you invisible to approximately 80% of the market. They'd be basically building up this back-end AI keyword mindshare, massive gap between me and your competitor and you. And so for you to compete, you would actually have to increase, or first you'd have to rederive SQ methodology. Well, actually derive it for the first time. And once you did that, you would then have to actually execute it every day, equal to us. And if you did that, then you're simply maintaining the gap because we're executing every day as well. So the gap is remaining the same. And so for you to actually make any progress, you'd have to double or triple our output to then start pulling that, back-end AI keyword mindshare momentum away from me and your competitor, back to yourself. And again, you would never be 100% confident you've even derived the system correctly in the first place. And so it would hard to be even put in the effort to outwork us 2 to 3x. And after all that, you're realizing, screw that. I ain't got 80 hours to do all this, worry about all this stuff, 80 hours per day. So you decide you're simply going to be a first mover in your city and just not miss out on this opportunity, and simply, simply go first so you don't miss out. So if that's you, shoot us a DM. The hospital is currently closed for new patient intake, so DMs are currently closed, so you cannot work with us even if you wanted to. But when the hospital does open for new patient intake, shoot us a DM and we will see if you qualify for utilizing our S cubed methodology.